I keep forgetting that you're
Hello.
Tina. So hopefully, oh, Turnings by Turner. He always shows up for my live streams. Hopefully you're ready to get your spook on because I think we're going to talk about superstitions and paint some pictures from the movie Friday the 13th.
That's right. Let's get creepy.
Let's get creepy. So what did you have to let us in on here?
Okay. Well, I'm going to jump over. Well, when Sue, as soon as I told my mom that, I was going to do this on Friday the 13th, this live with you, and we were going to talk about superstitions and things. And then she told me about my grandma,
Mm-hmm.
who every time an owl would hoot would pull her pockets and turn them inside out. And my mom always thought that was weird. And I said, what are you talking about? I thought I'd heard a bunch of superstitions, when I was a kid and growing up.
Yeah.
I don't ever remember anybody doing this.
So
Maybe I
what's
just
the
didn't.
pocket supposed to do?
So I looked that up because I was
Okay.
like, okay, I want to talk about this. And apparently, the pockets would make you safe. But the reason is that people used to believe that owls swoop down to eat the souls of the dying. And if they heard an owl hooting, then they would become frightened. So
Ah,
the common remedy was to just pull your pockets inside out, and that was going to protect you.
there you go. I've never heard that one.
Maybe that helps hold the soul in. I don't know how the pockets work there.
Oh,
But
we've got Fabi here from Arrows DIY.
hello.
We're just talking about superstitions and Friday the 13th, and I have never heard of turning your pockets inside out for owls.
That's right.
That's really
So,
weird. I've heard of the old throwing salt over your shoulder. I'm not really sure what that one's about.
yeah, something about spilling salt and then
Yep,
throwing it over your shoulder. So,
yep.
have to
Never
say
touch
I've
on a
done that
crack. You break your
before.
mother's back.
Yes, I've avoided cracks as well. So, my mother has yet to break her back. So,
Yep.
something's working.
Well, there's some superstitions I don't believe in, like the black cat being unlucky, because I have a really pretty black kitty cat, and I've always had black kitties, and
That's
I
true.
find they're lucky. And
That's
even the number 13, I mean, my husband was born on April 13th. I think it might have even been a Friday the 13th. And his grandmother was from the Ukraine, and she was extremely superstitious. So she basically like locked herself in the closet and closed all the curtains and everything because he was born on Friday the 13th. But it might have even been Good Friday because it was
Oh,
April, so that was just like a big oh. And my
yeah, I
son was
did.
born on the 13th too, so it's not always unlucky.
Yeah, I did read something about that too. So, let's see. For hundreds of years, Friday has been considered the unluckiest day of the week. And
Yeah.
in Britain, Friday was once known as Hangman's Day because it was usually when people who had been condemned to death would be hanged.
Oh my
But
goodness.
but then Good Friday was named Good Friday as, to try to hence
Yeah.
that trend and not make it, fall with
Yeah.
the unluckiness of Fridays.
Well, I looked up a few things too, and it says according to folklore, the unlucky nature of the number 13 originated with a Norse myth. So there was 12 gods having a dinner party in Valhalla, and Loki wasn't invited. I don't know if it's the same Loki from, Thor and whatnot. So he got ticked off. He was the 13th guest, so he arranged for one of the Norsemen to shoot the other one with a mistletoe tipped arrow. So the guy died, and it was a black day on Earth, and the whole Earth mourned. So then Friday the 13th became, or 13 anyway, became an unlucky number. And there's
Hmm.
also 13 people at the Last Supper as well.
Yes.
Yes.
I did read that superstition people will sometimes put a teddy bear at their table to make it 14 instead of
Oh,
13.
okay. Yep. And a lot of elevators don't go up to the 13th floor. I'm not sure how that works, but
Hmm.
mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, Fabi says she doesn't believe in the superstitions, but she's not going to test it. That's kind of the way I am too. I'm not really superstitious, but better safe than sorry, right?
That's right.
Just
That's
keep
right.
going.
I've thrown that salt over my shoulder before because just in case.
Yeah, exactly.
Just in case.
I also had another thing here too about triskaidekaphobia, which is the fear of the number 13. And there was quite a few celebrities, I had the list here somewhere, that have suffered from triskaidekaphobia. But the one that kind of caught my eye was Stephen King. Who would have thought?
Hmm.
He actually is afraid of the number 13.
Wow.
Yeah. So maybe he doesn't have like a 13th chapter in his book. I don't know.
I don't think I've read some of his books. I don't think I've noticed that, but
Yeah, I'll have to
but
go
he
back and
doesn't
look.
have anything that's very like 13 everywhere, so maybe he's just avoiding that one. It's too
Maybe
creepy
that
for him.
could be. And I also said that Apollo 13 was launched on April 11th, 1970 at 1313 was the
Ooh.
time. and it suffered an oxygen tank explosion on April 13th, but did return safely to Earth on April 17th. But still, that's a
See?
lot of 13s in one little mishap.
Maybe that was lucky. Maybe if it hadn't been that all those 13s, they wouldn't have returned to
That's
Earth
true.
safely.
That's true. Oh, we've got Angie's Art and Crafty Creation says, good evening, Sue and
Hey,
Tevil. Hey, I'm glad you guys could come out. So you ready to do some art and we can continue chatting about
let's
the luckiness or unluckiness?
let's do some art. Let's paint some
All
creepy
right.
art. What are you painting up today?
I am going to do one of the movie posters of, I don't know how, does anybody know how many Friday the 13th movies there are? Because there are several, and my son is up on all the trivia. He says that the more you get, the kookier they get, because there's actually one where I think Jason ends up being a zombie or something in outer space. I don't know.
I have definitely not seen enough to know.
No, I watched the original like 1970s or 80s one, whatever that one was.
Let's see.
Oh, Fabi's going to ask Alexa, see if she knows. We'll Google it.
That's right. There you go.
She knows everything.
All right. Where am I going to start today?
There really should be 13 of them, though, don't you think?
There should be.
Exactly.
Maybe that's why some of them get kind of kooky because they
Yeah,
tried to
maybe.
get to that number.
All right. So here I've got my little Bob mascot here. Let's see what words of wisdom Bob has tonight.
You must make some nice little clouds that just float around and have fun all day.
Oh, our little clouds are going to float around and have fun all day. Well, I'll just set him right there, and he can watch us paint. Oh, you don't have Alexa. Oh, darn. Well, somebody can Google it. Oh, love Bob Ross. I do, too. He's my hero. He's not really very spooky, but I find his voice kind of soothing, actually. But so I am going to do one of the movie posters, and you said that you were going to be doing the infamous Crystal Lake. Is that right?
Well, yes. So I asked my kids what they thought I should do, and my oldest son said I needed to do the lake with a tree and his mask and a machete with the
Nice.
mask on the tree. So I think they think I'm way more of an artist than I feel like I am. But we're going to just go with this anyway. So I sketched out something here that's just going to have to work. So I am painting with acrylics today, and you're doing watercolor, you said?
I am, yeah. My infamous watercolor. Oh, my hubby Stefan says hello to you both, ladies, and to Bob.
Well, hello.
Oh, and Fabi says that there's more than 10. Oh, Alexa says that there's 12. There's got to be 13. Somebody's got to make a 13th Friday the 13th. I mean,
Yeah, they should definitely be working on it.
For sure.
But then do they stop?
Well, I don't know. Something has to finally happen.
Right.
I don't know if it's the same character all along.
I think it's the same character, though obviously it doesn't have to be the same actor.
Right, that's true. And it's kind of funny that the original one actually wasn't Jason who was the murderer. It was his mother.
Mm-hmm.
Which I had kind of forgotten about that. Oh, Jin Cho is here. Hello, how are you? We are doing some creepy paintings for, not really for Halloween, but just because it's Friday the 13th, I guess.
Was it last year? Did we have Friday the 13th in October?
I don't remember if we did, actually. It says that Friday the 13th occurs in any month that begins on a Sunday. Didn't know that either.
Ooh.
Must be just the way the calendar falls.
I think there's between 1 and 3 of them every year.
Yep. And I read that the shortest amount of time between Friday the 13th is 1 month, and the longest is 14 months. It's kind of funny how stuff like that works, eh?
Yeah. when I was a child growing up, I always liked Friday the 13th because it was a Friday and I was going to go to my dad's house.
Ah, there's always good things that come out of these. So you starting with the lake here?
I am starting. So this is going to be the dock,
Okay.
and then this is the tree over here. I'm just starting with brown.
Yeah, there's not going to be much color in these, I don't think, because the poster I've got is kind of like a gray, misty, foggy
Yeah,
black. But then I'm going to put blood red letters on it, so that'll be kind of nice to.
that's why I was like, okay, some blood that will
Gotta have some blood.
brighten things up a bit.
Yeah, a couple of people said, "Oh, I can't watch the live stream. It's going to be too creepy for me." It's like, no, it's not really creepy. This is creepy art.
That's right. And I mean, I'm realistic in my skill level of art. It's not going to look real enough to be creepy.
Exactly.
It's all imagination. So if you have a creepy
Exactly.
imagination, I guess.
Going to see if I could find some other Friday the 13th here trivia. Hmm. And apparently, there's a lot more people that end up going to the hospital on Friday the 13th. It's kind of like the full moon. When Lauren the Conjurer and I did the special on the full moon,
Oh,
a lot
yeah.
more accidents happen on Friday the 13th. Lots of creepy things tend to happen. But I think that's just because people get themselves psyched up that it's a unlucky day. I could be wrong, but
Oh, I wonder if it gets really bad if Friday the 13th is the full moon.
oh my. I wonder if that's ever happened.
Surely at some
I
point.
should Google that one. Sometimes it says there's 3 Friday the 13th in 1 year, too. That's kind of unusual. But yes, triskaidectophobia. Does anybody out there have triskaidectophobia? Whenever I hear that, I always think of the Charlie Brown special where Lucy's being the psychiatrist and she's talking to Charlie Brown about all the phobias. And then he finally realizes he has a I forgot it was pantophobia. He's afraid of everything. Not just 13, he's afraid of everything.
That's a lot to say. Tristodectophobia?
Triskaidectophobia. Yeah, it doesn't really roll off the tongue, but. Oh,
Not too
Artfully
much.
Blind with Diana says hello. How are you? We're on some creepy artwork here.
I'm not sure what color I've just made, so because like we said, they all are going to kind of look muted together.
Exactly.
So we're going to go with, let's make it nighttime. This is going to be,
Well, it's gotta be nighttime or it wouldn't be spooky, right?
and I was kind of thinking that too, but a lot of the pictures that I did see were from the day.
Oh, really? I'm surprised. This one's at night. Oh, Diana says she doesn't have a fear of of Friday the 13th. I don't either. In fact, I kind of forgot that it was Friday the 13th, except for the fact I realized we were doing our live stream, and I was like, oh yeah, right. It is Friday the 13th.
You're like, wait, that would be good. Yeah.
Yeah, that would be good. Do you like to watch slasher movies, Tina?
Um, I get in moods where I kind of want to watch stuff like that, but I'm like more of a creepy mystery than a
Yeah,
slasher.
I'm like that too. I like the psychological thrillers.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just the, hacking them up with a chainsaw or whatever. It's like, yeah.
Yeah, it's just a little I don't want to say I like gore, but I don't mind gore, but I need there
Right.
to be way more plot involved.
Exactly, yeah. Not killing just for the sake of killing people.
Yeah.
Yeah. Although, I'm still traumatized by the Jaws movie. I know we did the summer movie um, collaboration there a while back, and I was still traumatized watching that, even though it's an old movie. It was creepy back in the day. You didn't
I
really see a lot of gore in that movie, but it was just the suspense, I think.
I really liked Jaws, even when I was a little kid. That one didn't bother me. The one that bothered me was Pet Cemetery.
Oh yeah, yeah, that one was creepy.
That one got me when I was a kid.
The one that still gets me, and I won't watch, is The Exorcist. Anything with like the
It's too
devil
bad.
in it, that kind of gives me the
Oh,
willies.
yeah.
Yeah, because it's like, well, that might be true. I don't know.
Yeah, there's some things you just don't want to play with just in
Yep,
case.
just in case, just like Ouija boards. It's like, yeah, I'm sure they're nothing, but I don't know.
Yeah, I like the aesthetic, but I don't actually use them.
Yeah, yeah. It's kind of like don't poke the bear. You
Right,
probably won't get
exactly.
bitten, but you just don't do it.
Exactly. It's been actually a while since I've painted with acrylic paints.
Yeah,
Yeah. So
I
this would,
like painting with acrylic paint. I just find canvases take up a lot of room to store. That's why I tend to go with watercolor because you can just do them on paper.
yeah, I'm doing this one on a paper today as well because
Oh, is like
I,
mixed media paper?
yes, I just wasn't sure how I was going to get a canvas to lay
Yeah,
and the way I wanted to do this.
yeah. I've
So
kind of got
it's,
to
yeah,
get better at painting like live on a canvas on an easel, but I just find it's kind of awkward.
yeah, I was not sure how I was going to be able to pull that off.
Hmm. Oh, Diana says she likes psychological thrillers too, but not slasher ones. It's like, yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes the mind is just scarier than, getting hacked up with a knife. The way your mind twists things around and
Well, and I like surprises. I want
yeah,
to be the end to be a surprise. Like I sat through the whole movie for something and I I got it at the
exactly.
end. But
Well, Angie says she likes to paint with acrylic paint too. I find, yeah, it's a lot more forgiving because you can paint over it, which is kind of nice. Yeah, I like surprises too, but I don't like jump scares. Every Halloween we always make like a haunted house in our home, except for last year because of COVID.
yeah.
And we always have somebody jump out at people, and I love setting them up and I love creating them and stuff. But you could pay me enough money to go through it myself, unless I made it, because I hate jump scares.
Yeah, I don't blame you there.
Yeah. And I don't know if you've heard Five Nights at Freddy's.
Oh,
It's a kids game, but
yes.
yeah, my
My
son
kids
just
played it
got
for a little
a
bit.
a VR headset, a virtual reality, which is actually quite cool. But he's got the Five Nights at Freddy's game on it, where these characters jump out at you if you don't,
Oh
solve
no.
the mystery or solve the game in time. And I'm like, yeah, I'm not playing that one. That's a little too much for me.
Yeah, my kids played that a little bit.
Yeah,
And I don't want to play it. I like the way the characters looked.
yeah, they're kind of cool.
And so they have some stuffed animals and they had like a Lego set of it. And I
Yeah,
was fine with that. I just didn't want to play it.
yeah, yeah. There's going to be a lot of shadows in this picture. Not a lot of color, but going for ambiance here.
I was trying to make my water stand out and different, even though, part of the whole Crystal Lake is that it's crystal clear and you can kind of see down into it, which is really just makes it look like dirt because it's all brown on the bottom.
Right.
But I really wanted to try to distinguish something. So
You can see all the bodies floating at the bottom.
I don't know if that would be more creepy to be able to see them or to know that bodies were down there, but you couldn't actually see them.
Yes. And actually, one of these days, I'm going to do a little video vlog or something. There's a city, Kingston, that's like an hour from us, and there's a lot of ghost walks and ghost stories there because it's an old town. And they actually, one of the ghost walks we went on was talking about Skeleton Park. That's the nickname for it. I forget what the actual name of it is. But apparently there was a giant, oh, I don't know if it was typhoid. outbreak back in like the 1800s, and tons of bodies were just buried there and not very well.
Oh, goodness.
So to this day, Rover will be going out for a walk, digging up a bone, and he will dig up a real bone. And kids have found skulls and everything. So we, had to track it down after the ghost walk, actually go to Skeleton Park. And it was creepy because you just felt like you were walking on all these dead bodies. Like, obviously, they couldn't hurt you, but it was just really unnerving to know that there were thousands and thousands of dead bodies underneath your feet. Ooh.
Yeah.
And there's kids on the swings and the slides on top. It's kind of like, I don't know.
It's like, do you know, guys?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's, yeah, because even in like a graveyard, I'm very careful where I'm stepping.
Yes, yes. Well, we went to Baltimore quite a few years ago, and I'm a huge Edgar Allan Poe fan. And we found his grave site in Westminster Church, I guess it was.
Uh-huh.
And it was like the coolest cemetery I have ever been to. Like, it had the big wrought iron fences and everything, all the creepy gravestones. I was just in my glory, and my son was just, he was just having the heebie-jeebies because he's like, oh my God, I'm stepping on somebody, I'm stepping on a body. I'm not going to come up and get you.
I don't know. Is he afraid of zombies? Because, with that fear, you might think that someone's coming to get you.
That's true. That is true. But yeah, it was definitely the coolest graveyard I've ever been to. It just looked like something out of an old gothic sort of horror movie, and
That sounds great. That sounds awesome. I love really old graveyards, just that look of it.
oh, me too.
And yeah,
My husband
gothic
actually
styling.
pointed out. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was just saying in that gothic style. Yeah.
Yes. We passed a pioneer cemetery the other day. My husband actually asked me, he goes, why do you like old cemeteries? It's like, I don't know. It's just, like you said, it's the gothic style, the history of it, the untold stories, that kind of thing.
And they put so much effort into everything, like all the stonework and the ironwork that's there.
Yes. I find it kind of sad. I don't know what they made them out of, but there seemed to be a time period where they made headstones out of this material that really faded, like completely dissolved almost, so you couldn't really see the people's names on it. And I thought, oh, that's kind of sad. All these people's memories are kind of etched away. And well, Angie said her paintings are looking great. Well, so far so good.
Thank you, thank you. They mine at least sort of looks like a lake, I feel like. So
Oh, I've got another little story here while I'm waiting for my layer to dry. Let me see here. It says in 1881, an influential group of New Yorkers, led by U.S. Civil War veteran Captain William Fowler, came together to put an end to this and other superstitions of Friday the 13th. They formed a dinner cabaret club which they called the 13 Club. At the first meeting on January 13th, 1881, at 8:13 p.m., 13 people sat down to dine in room 13 of the venue. The guests walked under a ladder to enter the room and were seated among piles of spilled salt. Yikes. Many 13 clubs sprang up all over North America over the next 45 years. Their activities were regularly reported in leading newspapers, and their numbers included 5 future U.S. presidents, from Chester A. Arthur to Theodore Roosevelt. 13 clubs had various imitators, but they all gradually faded due to a lack of interest. I think that would be tempting fate for me. To walk under a ladder and through some spilled salt, having 13 people in room 13 on the 13th, it's like, it's a little too much for me.
I kind of want to do this.
Is it really?
A little
Now you're
bit.
intrigued.
Now I'm intrigued.
Now you're bringing back the 13 Club. I didn't know that was the thing.
I didn't know that was a thing either. So yeah, that is neat.
But yeah, I don't know if I would. Well, I don't know. Maybe I would. Attempt it.
The walking under a ladder, that one's a little bit like, oh, do I really want to do that? But
Well, that
I
was
think
actually
I've done
a
the
safety thing because something could fall on you. I mean, that was
yeah, I
one
think
way
I've
to do it.
but I've done the rest, just on accident. I've been okay. So
Yeah. But still, it's like, didn't know that was a thing. Cool. Oh, your lake is looking good so far.
I feel like I should have painted a little background before I started making these trees. I'm just going to have a lot of leaves. It's going to fill it all in.
Yeah, like Bob Ross says, there's no mistakes, just happy little accidents. So
That's right.
add a little tree here, a little tree there.
We're going to go back to the brown and put some more in.
Yeah, acrylic dries a lot faster than watercolor, so sometimes you kind of have to pause and let it do its thing. And
Yours is looking extremely creepy.
oh, well, thank you so far. I
Yes.
really like using this white gouache, which is, I don't know if you've ever used gouache, but it's like an opaque watercolor. So it's kind of like a cross between acrylic and watercolor.
Oh,
But
well,
it really gives some sort of spooky, because it's a little bit thicker, so you can make some spooky fog and mist kind of effects.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's been a really long time since I've painted in watercolor. That is definitely not my medium.
Yes. It never used to be mine until I kind of started YouTube and started doing it, and I was like, oh, okay. Actually,
You're
don't
like,
mind
wait,
it.
I like that a lot more than I remember.
Yeah. It does have a mind of its own, though, which can be good, can be bad. See if I've got some other little. Oh, apparently there was a Friday the 13th mini crash on the stock market that occurred Friday, October 13th, 1989. I don't know if anybody remembers that one. I don't, but.
I was still a little too young to be investing at that
Yes,
point.
me too.
So I
I'm
don't
sure
remember.
it made the news somewhere, but. Actually, you have to get some more black paint out here.
Okay, let's see.
So does anybody out there in YouTube land have any other superstitions that we haven't talked about? Things that you're afraid of? I don't know if I really have superstitions. There's things I'm afraid of, but
Yeah, I don't know really either. I used to flick the clock whenever I saw it to be a certain number,
oh yeah,
and then I would be nervous if I missed it. I don't know that it was
oh
necessarily superstition versus a luck kind of a thing
right.
of attempting to be lucky. But I do remember feeling that kind of like dread if I just missed it.
Mhm. Well, the number 666 does kind of worry me sometimes.
So my name, Tevil,
Hmm.
that actually comes from when I was skating in roller derby.
Oh, okay.
And my number was 999. And they used to ask me, why did you not just pick the number 666? And I would tell them it's because, well, when I get knocked down, then you see it really is 666.
Oh, jeez.
Oh,
Yikes. Well, my son's bank card, I think well, I shouldn't say this out loud on the internet, but you don't know his number, but his like PIN number or whatever was 666. I'm like, oh, that's good. That's good.
I think your mask is looking very well. I haven't even started mine because I'm so nervous of
Oh,
how I'm
where
going
is
to
your
do
mask
that.
going to be?
It's kind of right over here on the side. Let me scoot up a little bit.
Oh,
So right over here.
okay. Is it
Can you
floating
see
in the
that?
water, sort of?
There we go. It's attached to a tree. I'm a little
Oh,
far.
okay.
There we go.
Ah,
So here with the machete, or that's going to be the plan.
very nice.
Can fill back my dock back in with this forgiving acrylic.
Yes. Thank goodness for acrylic. Oh, Diana said she doesn't have superstitions, but does believe in evil spirits, so she doesn't want to ever see one. Yes, that's true. We said don't poke the bear, right? You just never know.
I did this like online survey thing I do every once in a while today, and started out normal, asking me about houses, and then it started asking me how I'd feel about buying a haunted house and would I do it for a discount. I'm like, what is this trying to tell me?
That's kind of weird.
It was extremely strange.
Yeah. Well, like I said, we love going on the ghost walks in Kingston, but they're pretty tame because they just tell you the stories. But I don't know if I'd be nervy enough to actually stay in some of the places that they show you that they say are haunted. I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. But there are a lot of them because Kingston is an old city and has a lot of old limestone buildings, and it was the capital of Canada briefly. And there were a lot of public executions there too, and there was the Kingston Penitentiary was there too. So there's a lot of negative energy surrounding it.
Yeah, to go and visit would be nice, but to stay overnight's a different story.
Exactly. And the maximum security prison is no longer there, but still, they've actually opened it up to tourists, which I have gone through, and it was actually quite interesting. Just to see all the architecture, and here the tour was led by a retired prison guard, so it was kind of neat to hear sort of the behind the scenes.
That would be neat, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, there's not a lot of contrast here in this picture, but it's supposed to be spooky nighttime.
Trying to just make it happen contrasty. Anyway.
Oh, Angie said she wouldn't stay anywhere where they said it's haunted. Yeah, me either. Me either.
Would you visit though, Angie?
Angie, would you visit? What? Well, it's different if you're outside, maybe. I don't know if I would go inside. During the day, I would.
Oh, I guess that's true. Like, how many exits are there?
Yeah, really. In case of emergency, where can I go?
Right. If I get spooked and run, can I get out?
Exactly. Angie said she would visit. But
Okay.
I remember one time up where my in-laws live on Oak Lake, there's this really beautiful wooden log cabin house that's beside them, but of course it is rumored to be haunted, which I don't know if it was or not. But we went with the owners on a tour the one night, and me being the pain in the butt that I am, and my husband being the pain of the butt that he is, he started flicking the lights out, and I knocked the rocking chair in my mother-in-law. She just about climbed up the wall. She's like, "Oh my God, I'm out of here!" But yeah, he went to the fuse box and he was flicking the lights on and off. And
It was going to be haunted one way or another.
exactly.
You came for a show.
Exactly.
I've been on a ghost walk before. Nothing actually kind of happened to us, but I still had that, creepy feeling kind of staring up at the attic windows of places. And
Well, my sister-in-law and I went on a ghost walk in Ottawa, and it was just the ambiance was something else. They couldn't have made it this way. We ended up walking through this park, and it had these great big gothic sort of wrought iron fences all along it. And all of a sudden, she just starts screaming, and I'm looking, what's the matter? She's like climbing up me. There was a rat about the size of a chihuahua just walking along the wrought iron fence, and I'm like, oh my God. You could not have planned that.
okay, I might have climbed up too had it started walking towards me.
Yes. But it was far enough away. I was like, yeah, okay. But
Yeah, I don't mind them from afar, but just don't come get in my business and I'll stay out of yours.
Exactly. But it was just like something out of a movie. It's like, you've got to be kidding me. Where did they hire this rat to just happen to walk through during the...
Oh, that's great. Okay, let's see.
Finding it hard to get this sort of dark enough with watercolor, but layers. It's all about layers.
It's all in the layers.
Do you find when you do paintings, Tina, that you have sort of an ugly phase too, where they go through and you're like, oh, this looks horrible, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, Okay, well, not so bad.
Yes.
Yeah.
I find that if I drink wine, it helps, though I'm not drinking any tonight.
Well, you could have brought some.
I could have brought some,
You
but
could have.
we talked about the weather. I wasn't trying to get out and any of that earlier.
Right.
It's been kind of gross out here,
And you
whether it be.
said you are from Oklahoma, right?
That's right. I am in Oklahoma.
That is still the coolest part of YouTube for me is getting to collaborate and meet people from all over.
Yeah, definitely met some people from afar. And you are in Canada, but where exactly in Canada again?
In southern Ontario. So
Southern Ontario.
I don't know if you've heard of Toronto. That's kind of a main one. I'm about 2 hours east of Toronto. So
Okay.
yeah. Kind of nice weather-wise where we are. Generally, we get sort of mildish weather. Like we don't get really bad snowstorms and really bad, tornadoes or weather. It's kind of mildish, but although we've been having a lot more tornadoes lately. Not right where we are, but fairly close.
What's your tornado season?
We don't really have a tornado season, but we just seem to be getting more and more of them, but probably more so in the summer, like July, August.
Okay, gotcha.
Whenever we get thunderstorms, sometimes a tornado will kind of come along with, but
Yeah, we are always watching out for the tornadoes here in Oklahoma. That
yeah.
is
I
always a
went to
given.
visit a factory that I worked with. I used to work at ExxonMobil, and we went down to one of our plants in Shawnee, Oklahoma.
Okay.
And on
Yep.
the tour, they were telling us, "Oh yeah, well if this alarm goes off, we just go downstairs into the tornado shelter." I'm like, "Pardon me?"
Yep.
"Oh yeah, we do this all the time." I'm like, "Oh, okay, good to know."
Let me just say we are not all that casual about it.
Oh, that's good.
Some of us still realize that that is potential disaster for our lives and
Yes.
find
Have
that
you
to
ever
be.
actually witnessed one or?
I have not. I've got closer to tornadoes in my dreams, I think, than I have in real life. But I have been close enough where, giant things are still flying down the street when I'm driving. And I'm like, I should probably not be on the road right now. And I have had to stay in certain areas in order to wait it out.
Wow, that's kind of scary.
And I have a storm shelter in my garage and I've had to be down in that before. So,
Yikes.
but thankfully, let me go find some wood around here. Hold on. Here we are in the superstitions. I got to knock on wood. So,
Knocking on wood. Yep.
so I don't curse myself there. But thankfully, I've never had the situation where I've been in the shelter and the tornado's been right on top of me or anything. So,
So that's good.
still too close for comfort many times, but.
Exactly. Oh, Diana asked if I am near Lake Ontario. Yes, we're not right on the lake, but probably about a half an hour, 45 minutes we'll be near Lake Ontario, so that's kind of nice. There's a lot of beautiful water up here in southern Ontario, a lot of lakes, and fortunate that way.
Yeah, I'm only about 45 minutes from Shawnee.
Oh, are you really?
Yeah, I live in a town called Yukon,
Okay.
and
I
so
haven't
it's
heard
on
of
the
that.
other side of Oklahoma City from that.
I had read or heard that Brad Pitt was actually born in Shawnee, Oklahoma, but I thought they'd make more of a big deal of that. But maybe he was.
Yeah, I don't think he stayed for that long. He wasn't in
Oh,
Shawnee, as he grew up.
yeah.
But he does have family out there, I guess. I had a high school teacher that dated his cousin, I guess, for a while, and
Oh.
so that was her big, claim to fame, and she used to tell us that almost all the time.
Well, I probably would too. But you'd think they'd have a big sign or something saying birthplace of.
Yeah, I mean, I'm in Yukon, and that's Garth Brooks'
Oh,
hometown,
is
and
he?
it's everywhere.
Well, that's cool.
We have a big water tower. It's got his name on it.
Hey, Melissa here from Love Anything Art. Better late than never, that's true. So, do you have any superstitions, Melissa? Took me the longest time to figure out that Love Anything Art's name was Melissa because, like I said, a lot of people have different channel names and you don't always associate them with their name. So you'd be like, yeah, okay.
That's true. So,
I
how did
don't
you
remember.
come up with discovering the art of living?
Well, I don't know. I was kind of wanting to do a bit of sort of life lessons when I first started and art. And I wanted it not just to be art. I was wanting it to be like comedy or, you know, crafts, arts, writing, reading stuff. And I thought, well, all of those are forms of art. And I wanted to try to inspire people who thought maybe they weren't crafty or weren't artistic to do it. So I thought, well, discovering the art of living. And actually, I was just the art of living at first. But then my channel never ever came up in search because it was a really big sort of spiritual yoga channel called The Art of Living. So I
Ah,
thought, oh, I'll add something to it. So I put the discovering in front, and that fixed the problem. So,
there you
yes.
go.
So, how did you come up with Tevil's Treasures?
Well, so my nickname since I have played roller derby has just been Tevil.
Mm-hmm.
My derby name was actually Dasmanian Tevil, which is a fun fact. That literary term is called a spoonerism, if you did not
Ah,
know that.
I did not know that.
And so when I was looking for things and I was looking for channel names that weren't already taken, I thought, why don't I just do something with Tevil? And then I don't know where treasures came from. I guess just because I wanted to do craft type things or make stuff.
Yeah, well, it's a cool name. I like it.
Well, thank you. I like yours as well.
Well, thank you. Oh, Angie says she loves Garth Brooks. Yes, me too. He is one of my favorites. I don't know if he's still putting out new music or not. I haven't really heard anything, but
I'm not sure, even though I live in his hometown, I do not like country music.
oh, really? I do.
Yes.
I like lots of different kinds of music. I'll let that dry for a moment. I'll check on the chat here. Oh, Diana said that her mother's side of the family are from central New York State on Lake Ontario, so that's not too far from us, actually. Probably 4 hours, 3 or 4 hours. Oh, Melissa said no, she doesn't really have any superstitions. She said the usual stuff like walking under ladders and don't open umbrellas indoors. Yes, that one actually, I must admit, I actually did. I was cleaning out my house and closets and everything at the beginning of the summer, and I found an umbrella and I wanted to make sure it worked, so I did actually step outside to open it because I thought, better safe than sorry. You just never
Just in
know.
case.
You just never know.
My kids watch like gaming stuff on YouTube. I don't tend to watch gaming on YouTube, but they like it.
Yes.
And they were watching something last night where the guy was a duck in the game, and one of his missions was to go take an umbrella and open it inside
Oh,
somewhere.
jeez. That's funny.
And I was just like, "What are you watching?"
Well, Angie says her bread box for ribbons was genius, but I'm not sure who that was in relation to.
Oh, I did a bread box with
Oh, you
ribbons.
did. Okay, I must have missed
Yes.
that one.
Yeah,
Oh, you
that's been a
converted it
while.
into a ribbon holder?
Yeah, I had an old bread box and I was like, what am I going to do with this? And didn't have anywhere to put any of my ribbons at all. So, yeah, made that
Oh,
happen. I
there you
really
go.
like to, instead of throw things out, figure out turn them into something useful.
Exactly. Exactly. Trash to treasure.
That's right. And then, I also just have a stack of things that I feel like need a new life and have no idea what to do with them. So sometimes it just hangs around and looks like trash for a while.
Exactly.
My kids think I'm nuts on that. They're just like, are you going to keep this? I can craft with
Throw it
that.
out. Did you ever do the Cool Lab collaboration that's using garbage and trash and stuff to make
I
DIY?
haven't.
You should.
I
Um,
should. I definitely should do that.
Mysterious Pic or not Mysterious Pixie. The Purple Pixie usually hosts it, and I forget when it is. I think it's the third Thursday of the month or something. It's on her YouTube, but I could send you the link. But she does it every month, and it's kind of cool.
That's a great, because yeah, I'm usually making something out of trash at least once a month.
Well, she says, all these crafty people, not that there's anything against going to Dollar Tree, but she says, I don't go to Dollar Tree. I just look around the house and think, maybe I could use that cardboard box and make that into something, or, take that old jam jar and make it into something. So, it's kind of cool.
You know, I have gone to Dollar Tree thinking that I need to buy something before, and then I'm disappointed because they don't have what I want to have. And then I
Yes,
come home and I find something else anyway.
exactly.
So,
Well, being in Canada, I'm always envious of you guys in the States because our Dollar Trees suck. Where I, anyway, they hardly have anything ever.
you know, I feel you there because the Dollar Tree that's actually in my town is horrible.
Yeah.
You got to catch it on the right when they stock, or they're out of almost everything, and it looks like a bomb went off.
Oh, I know. They're messy.
But if I want to drive 20 or 30 minutes, then I can go to a nice one, you know.
Well, that's good. Well, I
So,
was talking to Mimi's Crafts, Jackie, and she lives in Florida. And the city she's in, they have like 17 Dollar Trees. I'm like, ah,
what?
I know. It's like, how did I get there?
Does she live in a really big city?
I think so. I forget exactly where she was from, but yeah, a lot of the stuff like the tumbling tower blocks, you cannot get those at our Dollar Tree. We have a Dollarama, which is sort of the Canadian version of Dollar Tree,
Okay.
and it's okay, but everything's like $2 and $3, so it's not as good of a deal.
Yeah. I went to the fancy Dollar Tree and they started having things for like $5 in there too, like a special section.
Yeah.
I was like, no, this is not right. Everything can only be $1. It's the Dollar Tree.
Yeah. Well, Fabi says that she likes to. I keep too many things to make trash to treasures. Drives my husband crazy.
I definitely feel that.
And Melissa was saying something about was it Garth Brooks' song about the Oklahoma City bombing, or am I confusing the two? Is there a song about that?
It makes sense that he would do a song about that, but I don't know
Mm-hmm.
because I don't like country.
I don't know if I've heard that one or not. I know Alan Jackson's song about 9/11 was a good one too. But well, my older son, loves rap music. I don't know. He's 19. Maybe that's the thing. I don't really listen to a lot of rap music, but you probably know when he's going off to university, he actually asked me to draw some pictures of his favorite rappers so he could put them up in his dorm room. And I thought, oh, because he doesn't usually show an interest in my artwork. So I've
Well,
been busy
yeah.
doing those. I've got 4 of the 5 done already. So
Yeah,
that was kind of a challenge.
I don't do the whole rap music thing either, so
No.
I feel you on that.
But all of his friends do, so I think it must be just the age. They seem to like that rebellious kind of, you know.
Probably. Now I've done hard rock and heavy metal before, but I'm more of just into a calm, easy listening nowadays.
Yep. Yep.
I like things I can sing to.
Yes, that's true. Well, he likes country music and stuff too, so it's kind of funny because usually if I'm with him, he'll flip over the rap music and put on something that I like to listen to. But
Well, that's nice at least.
yeah. So yes, I'm liking how this gouache is sort of working because if you use just straight white watercolor, you couldn't really get the same effect. It doesn't really show up, but the gouache is kind of spoopy. Oh, Demfish, my other son's on here. He said both paintings are looking good right now.
I feel
Oh,
like
The Change. Yes, sorry. The Melissa said that song is The Change by Garth Brooks. Yes, I love that song. That's a great song.
now that you say that, that does sound familiar.
Yes, I didn't really clue in that it was about the Oklahoma bombing, but yes, I love that song. It's very inspirational. Oh, Angie says hi to the Demfish. He's the video gamer in the family with his little YouTubey thing. Angie says pretty much stuff for every season and more at their Dollar Tree. Angie says she has so many craft supplies she'd love to donate to someone. Pay the shipping only. That'd be great. I would love to be able to do some of these craft swaps with some of my friends on YouTube, but oh my gosh, the shipping internationally is insane.
Well, and depending on what crafts you're sending too, it just
Exactly.
gets higher and higher.
Because yes, I've seen a few collaborations where people are doing like Halloween boxes and they're sending different mystery boxes to each other, and I would love to do that, but too much. That's why I kind of did my own little local thing with my friends on Facebook, where we just have a theme every month, and we pick a different person on the list, and we make up a little surprise box in the theme, and then we just hand deliver it to them. So that way, we're only spending about $20, and we're not paying for shipping and everything else. So it's kind of fun.
That is a good idea.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know many crafters locally to me. I have just a couple of friends that actually like crafting, but that's been hard.
Yes. Well, not a lot of my real friends are crafters or painters either. That's why I've kind of embraced YouTube. I'm meeting more like-minded people. But
Right. Hmm.
Angie says, "Awesome sauce. You have no idea how happy this makes me, Fabby." Oh, well, there you go. Well, maybe they will set up something where they can send each other some craft supplies. That would be cool.
This is way too blue of a sky.
I see you've got your machete going there.
I got the machete going. I'm letting it dry a little bit before I add some blood and
Blood and
make
guts.
the mask not look like skin.
Yeah. I've
It
let
kind
mine dry a little bit here. I might work on my bright red letters. I'm going to use marker for that just so I get the nice bright color. But
Oh, that's a good idea. My sky is a little bit too daytime for me, so I'm going to have to come back, I think, and darken it up.
oh, Diana said it's a great idea, Sue, to create your own boxes. Yeah, and they don't have to be crafty. We just kind of set a limit of about $20, and it's whatever the theme is. Like July was a day at the beach, so some people put in like a puzzle and a book and a straw hat and some sunscreen and snacks and stuff. And some people made up crafts, and yeah, it's kind of fun because you just never know what you're going to get, and you get a different person every month too. So
That is a fun idea. I like the idea of switching the people every month, and then you get to know everyone a little bit better.
exactly. Because some of these, well, these are mostly all people I know, but then they've started inviting a friend or two, so they're sometimes people you don't know, so you don't really know what they like. And it's a good way to try new things too, because somebody might send you like a crochet kit or something, and you've never crocheted, so you're like, oh, okay, I'll try it, see if I like it.
Yeah, my mom keeps talking to me about crochet. Not my thing either.
I used to do a lot of it, but I don't know. I don't have the patience for it.
I think that's it.
I say that as some of my drawings take me like 20 hours to do, but I just find I have trouble with tension. I'll start off making a sweater, and it'll end up being about 6 inches wide by the time I'm done because I keep pulling it tighter and tighter. It's supposed to be stress relief, but it's not really working.
It's kind of hard for me to see it coming into something. It's just a big blob of yarn.
Yes, exactly.
When a painting, it's all right there in front of you, so it's a little better, I guess.
Well, with a painting, I kind of know how to fix it if it doesn't turn out. With something that you knit or crochet, it's kind of like, yeah, well, once I messed it up, I sort of messed it up.
Exactly. There's no putting more yarn on top of it.
Exactly. You can rip it all out and start over, but that kind of defeats the purpose. Although I did go to Michael's a while ago. We just started getting the not mystery boxes, but I forget what they're called, discount boxes where it's $5 full of a box of stuff. You never know what you're going to
Oh,
get.
yeah.
And usually you get something. I love going to the Halloween ones, but this one I got two of them, and the one was pretty good. The other one was full of yarn, which I was like, oh, great. I mean, it was probably $150 worth of yarn because they were the great big fancy fluffy balls. But I thought, oh boy, everybody's going to get a scarf and mittens for Christmas.
Yeah.
So I got 14 balls of yarn.
Surprise! What color scarf do you want?
Exactly. Oh, Melissa says, yes, she has the same problem with crocheting. Oh, me too. I don't know. Just the tension thing. I don't know how you fix that, but
I'm sure practice that you eventually get better. I just don't want to put that much effort into it to get
exactly.
better.
It's funny, if it's something you're really interested in, you don't mind putting the effort into it. If it's something that you're just like, eh.
Yep.
Alright, I'm going to see if I have any other trivias here. Well, I got to wait for my paint to dry a little bit. And I also wanted to take my comment off here, but I don't know if I can because it's covering up my picture.
Trying to fill in all of my white spots. I feel like I should have painted the background and then come back with leaves.
Well, you can let it dry and then kind of go over top. Okay, here's some other trivia about Friday the 13th. It says Southwest Airlines Flight 1380 suffered an uncontained engine failure due to the failure of the number 13 fan blade on the number 1 engine on April 17, 2018. A passenger who was partially sucked out of a window as a result of damage later died from her injuries. Ew, that's gross.
Oh my
Number
gosh.
13 fan blade.
That's a terrible way to go. Be sucked out a
That would be
window.
a horrible way to go. This is something here about vehicle registration plates in Ireland are such that the first 2 digits represent the year of registration of the vehicle. So example, 11 is a 2011 registered car, 12 is a 2012, and so on. So in 2012, there were concerns among members of the Society of the Irish Motor Industry that the prospect of having 13 registered vehicles might discourage motorists from buying new cars because of the superstition. So the government introduced a system whereby 2013 registered vehicles would have their registration plates as 131 instead of just 13, just to avoid, any bad luck. Again, better safe than sorry, I guess.
I guess that's true. I don't know that that would prevent me from buying a new car if I was going to buy a new car, though.
No.
But
Well, some superstitions run deep, I guess.
that's right. Or the fear of losing money over them, that runs very deep.
That's true. Oh, Fabi says her mother made her daughter a sweater and a beautiful blue dress for summer. Oh, that's nice. Angie's made scarves, headbands, flip-flops. Very time-consuming. How do you make flip-flops that are crocheted? And how they would stay on your feet.
That's what I was going to say. And is it all completely yarn or?
Yeah, or maybe kind of slippers, maybe?
Yeah.
I made a sweater once, but mostly it's just hats and scarves and easy stuff.
Mine would definitely be more of a scarf situation. No real turning involved, no circly type things.
Unless maybe you were crocheting like a Jason mask or something for Halloween. That might be
That would be very interesting. Maybe that would be enough to make me continue to figure out how to be better at crocheting.
Yeah. Well, you should investigate that because I see, like at Chapters of all places, they have all these craft kits, and I saw some of them that were crochet, and you could actually crochet the cast of Friends.
What?
And they had Star Wars little guys. They had like little crochet Yoda and Darth Vader. I'm like, oh, that's cool. I would actually attempt doing that, maybe, but they were really expensive. But maybe you could get into creepy crochet. There you go.
I did, when I first started YouTube, I found another YouTuber that was doing a creepy crochet, but she has since stopped.
Oh, yeah?
But yeah, and I thought that was kind of neat.
Yeah. The marker's working really well for the letters. I thought about trying to use watercolor, and I thought, yeah, it's not going to really show up. It'd probably end up looking pink, which would be not ghoulish enough. I have some bloody, drippy red stuff going here. Well, so far the thunderstorms have held off here. It was looking kind of iffy.
I think mine have passed. I quit hearing lightning, so. But how weird that so far away and we were both kind of having a thunderstorm at the same time.
I know. Very strange. Oh, Angie says you build the bottom of the flip-flop first and then add the straps. So would you have to put like cardboard or something in the bottom to kind of stiffen them up, I would think? Maybe?
Is it like multiple layers of yarn? Or,
Yeah.
you know what I would probably do? I'd probably put Mod Podge all over the bottom of them to stiffen them up.
There you go.
When in doubt,
There you
just put Podge all over it.
go. Oh, I knew about more trivia here while I'm waiting for this to dry. It says many cruise ships have omitted having a 13th deck due to the triskaidekaphobia. I knew about the elevators, and hotels don't have a 13th floor, which is weird because I mean there is actually a 13th floor. It's just not called that.
I worked at a bank and I actually worked on the 13th floor.
Oh, did you?
Yes.
Was it labeled the 13th though?
Yes, and it was actually labeled. We were just on 13. No superstition there, I guess.
Yikes. Yikes. Oh yes, I have my list of famous people who have triskaidekaphobia, the fear of the number 13. Not Schwarzenegger. Arnold Schoenberg. I don't know who that is. Franklin Roosevelt and Stephen King. The only two that I know. I find that one very odd, that Stephen King would have a fear of the number 13 though. Maybe he believes in what he writes.
I've heard that he writes his dreams.
Oh yes?
And
I've heard that he is a major drug user, so that's why he has a lot of these weird dreams, maybe. But I think you'd have to kind of, because he cranks out an awful lot of novels.
He does. He's definitely got a creepy imagination.
Yes. I used to read a lot more of his books. And The Green Mile, we actually watched that last year when we were on vacation. It's a good one because it's not really creepy. It has a bit of, I don't know if you've seen it or not, a bit of like fantasy in it, but it's not spooky creepy.
Yes, it's been a while, but I have seen that one.
Oh, I gotta put my spooky trees in here too. Oh, Angie says you build the base just by going around your starting point until you get the size you want. No cardboard or anything for the slippers. Or flip-flops. Well, that's kind of cool. I'd have to see those. You should do a video on those.
I know, I'm sitting here trying to imagine it, and it's kind of hard to imagine it. They sound comfortable.
They do. So you're waiting for your background to dry before you attempt your mask there?
No, I've started on the mask a little bit here, and it only kind of looks like a mask, but
Yes, I'm trying to get his face a little bit darker here, but it's the other problem with watercolors. You can only put so many layers on, and then it starts to degrade your paper. So
I'm going to add some blood here.
blood.
Because, you can't just have the machete. It's got to be bloody.
Well, that's true. Kind of looks like he has an oxygen mask on here. Maybe it's Jason when he gets older and he's got a respirator or something.
There you go.
Oh, Fabi says very
You can
nice.
see he looks
So far.
creepy.
Creepy. Should have had some theme music going. I'm always leery on live streams about putting music on though because I never know about copyright.
Yeah. It's probably smart.
Although I guess if you had what you put on your videos, like from YouTube or the library thing,
Yeah.
it'd be fine. I'm not sure what he's carrying here. If this is a sword or what he's got going on in his hand, but whatever it is, I'm sure he doesn't have any good intentions with it. Yeah, I'll put my trees in the background here too. Yeah, we'll have to do another live stream at Halloween maybe and think of some creepy stuff we can.
Yeah, the only time I've been live on my channel was Halloween last year.
Yeah. Well, now that you've done StreamYard, you're an old professional. You can do
That's
it.
right.
It's pretty easy.
I was so nervous because I had no idea what I was doing or if it was even going to work.
Mm-hmm.
So,
well, considering you're just using Wi-Fi, it's actually working quite well.
yeah, I'm pleasantly surprised.
Mm-hmm. You must have good internet.
I turned everything else off, so
Good plan.
so hoping that it would be okay. I tried to put this bloody handprint here. It kind of looks more like a bear than a human handprint, but
Well, maybe he was attacked by a bear.
there you go. Maybe it was a bear attack, and that's how he lost his mask and machete on the street.
There's always a little story behind it. Trying to give this guy some life. Haha, that's kind of funny considering.
Some life.
Some life. Coming along nicely.
Okay, well, I'm happier with that than I thought I was going to be.
Well, there you go. It is
Still-
harder to paint stuff live too, because there is kind of, you're a little bit stressed, and
Yeah, someone's watching me.
lots of people are watching. Oh no.
Yeah, I'm not used to crafting or painting in front of people.
No. After you do it a couple times, it's not so bad.
Even if I can't see all you watching me, I know you're there.
Yeah. Sounds kind of creepy. I don't feel like I'm getting him quite dark enough though, but
I think I'm going to try to attempt to add a kind of moon,
a moon?
something up here. It just looks odd. So
Maybe you just need some darker blue for the sky.
go with just part of the moon peeking. We're going to give it some nice red color too, though. Make it a blood moon.
Blood red moon.
Yeah.
Oh, Angie says they're looking fantastic. Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Yes, I gotta draw my trees in here too. Okay, trees. The only problem with watercolor too is you tend to get really warped paper after a while if you put too much water on it, but I did learn a little secret that once it's dry, if you iron the back of it very carefully, it'll flatten that all out, so try that.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
I have had to iron paper before when I've like stained it with coffee or tea, so.
Some spooky trees in the background here. So you said you're giving your painting to one of your sons when you're done?
Yep, since it was his idea for me to paint this, I thought I'll go ahead and give it to him. So
And how old is he?
he is 11.
11.
I have an 11 and a 9-year-old. The 9-year-old likes space, and my 11-year-old likes creepy stuff. So
Ah.
yeah, my 9-year-old's room, I redid that. I have a video out there of that, but it's I painted his walls
Mm-hmm.
to look like space.
Oh, cool.
But my 11-year-old, he wanted something to do with like creepy aliens.
Okay.
So his room is a very abstract version of Aliens versus Predator.
Wow. How'd you do that?
So he has a kind of the jungle theme for like the Predator side, and then it kind of morphs into his closet area is a cave,
Wow.
and so that's the kind of the alien side. And then he has some stuffed animals I found on Amazon that look like the movie Alien, that look
Yeah.
like the little thing that like comes out of the guy's chest and stuff.
Oh my goodness. That's gonna give him nightmares.
Yeah, like I said, he loves creepy stuff.
Yeah. Well, you're a cool mom if you could do all that.
Well, since I don't mind the creepy stuff, I kind of like that myself too, a
Yeah.
little. So, all right. Yeah, when I was a kid, I painted, giant mushroom and other just random oddball stuff on my walls. Thankfully, my parents were okay with me painting on the walls as long as I used paint that wasn't going to be too thick to paint over afterwards.
Well, that's good. Yeah, you can do a lot of cool things with paint, and like you said, if you get tired of it, then it's like, yeah, just paint over it.
That's right.
I'm trying to dab off some of this paint to make it look a little bit more misty, I guess. Spooky. Oh, I sort of lost my trees here. Angie says she paints over many canvases. Oh, I do too. That's the other good thing about acrylic is you can reuse your canvas if you're not wanting to keep it, right? You can.
Mm-hmm.
I probably have like 6 or 7 layers on some of them.
Well, yeah, I saw someone on YouTube who, went out to thrift stores to look for old paintings just so that she could paint over them.
Yeah.
And I thought, well,
Cost
that is a
effective.
great idea.
Yeah. Trying to get some foggy looking stuff going on here.
Trying to cover up my white speckles. You're just.
Oh, Melissa says you're all making me want to watch Halloween movies in for the weather to be cold again. It's like, well, I don't know if I'm quite there yet, but.
I'm ready for fall. It seems
Are you?
like here in Oklahoma we get about a week of actual fall weather a lot of the
Yeah.
times. But I really love that. My birthday is really close to Halloween. It's just a couple of days off. So that time of year just kind of reminds me of my birthday. But yeah, we usually jump almost straight from summer into winter time. But I
Do
do
you
love
guys
that
have
fall.
the your leaves change color and stuff like that?
They do, and sometimes they'll stay around a little while before they all turn around and fall out because it got so cold. But
Mm-hmm. Yes, we have beautiful maple leaves up here. Lots of beautiful colors, and I like fall. I love all the seasons, but I like them in their time. You know what I mean? Like, I wouldn't
yes,
want it to be summer all year round. I wouldn't want it to be winter all year round. I like all 4 seasons.
I could take if it was spring and fall all year round. I think
Oh yeah.
I could probably be okay with that.
Well, now that we have air conditioning, I'm spoiled for the summer, so I don't mind it so much. But I find as I get older, though, I get wimpier for the winter because, yeah. Sometimes when it gets to be like minus 35 with the wind chill, it's like, I could do without that.
Yeah, I don't want it to be that cold, but I don't want it to be that hot either. So, yeah, we don't get wind chills quite that cold here. So,
Yeah.
thankfully, if it's,
Well,
in the teens, I'm whining.
yeah. Well, I don't know if I think it's global warming too because we used to get a lot more snow. Like the end of November, we'd have snow and it would last right through till February. Now it's like we've had a green Christmas. I think the last 5 years or so, but then it snows later, which is kind of a pain. I
Yeah.
like to have a white Christmas.
Yeah, it's been a while since I've had a white Christmas, I feel like.
Does it snow in Oklahoma?
We do get snow. Some years it's just a dusting, but then some years we get a lot. We had a pretty good snow. We had like two right in a row this year in February.
Oh wow.
So took out a lot of power.
Yep, ice
I just
storm.
lost it for a little bit, but yeah, we had kind of a wintry season this year.
Melissa said in Texas it was way too hot, so I'm looking forward to cooler weather. Yes, I can't imagine. Don't imagine they get snow in Texas. Although they did have that snowstorm this
Yes,
year, and that's kind of
that was part of the
that,
same storm that hit us. Yeah.
yeah, which is kind of funny because we just replaced all of our windows and doors. Well, wanted to replace all our windows and doors in our home. We got the windows in a few months later, but the doors are actually postponed for an entire year because of the ice storm in Texas. Because that must be where they make them. I don't know.
Oh goodness.
I'm like a whole year. Holy cow! Oh, Angie says she's in sunny California. It's plenty hot here too. I bet. I have been to California a long time ago.
I have
Beautiful there.
never been to California.
No?
Nope.
I actually visited the east coast of Canada and the west coast of the U.S. all in the same summer, so I dipped my toes in the Atlantic and the Pacific in the same couple months. It was kind of neat.
That is neat.
Both were equally cold. Well, how's your mask going there, Tina?
I'm okay with my mask, I think. I'm disappointed with my tree, which that's
Oh, really?
rare for
I
me
like
because
the
I
tree.
usually love painting trees.
I think he looks pretty cool.
Like it looks okay, but this bottom part of this trunk, I just can't really decide what it's doing. So we're just
Oh,
going to blend it all. When in doubt, just blend.
exactly. I'm kind of just putzing with my guy here. I'm not sure what he needs. What does he need? Melissa says we don't normally get snow, but when that snowstorm came through, we lost power for 3 days. Yes, I can imagine. We had some really nasty ice storms here years ago, and some people lost their power for like months. Again, we were lucky we didn't get it too bad here, but
Yeah, I just lost it when they were kind of doing the rolling power outages to prevent more people from losing power throughout
mm,
the whole state and into Texas too.
yeah. I don't mind the snow so much, but the ice I don't like. That's nasty. Nasty to drive in, and that's when you
Yeah.
get the power outages. And you're putting some more layers on your tree.
I am. I'm trying to see if this blending is going to make me happier with it. Should have done it sooner, but it's just what's happening.
Just gonna roll with it. creating it myself. Hello, how are you? Tons of rain in South Florida from Tropical Storm Fred. Oh, yes, that's kind of scary. Hurricanes, tropical storms. We don't have any of that here. The first time we went to Disney World, we got caught in Hurricane Floyd, and that was scary. So.
Yeah, thankfully we don't have to deal with hurricanes here either, being so far inland. I feel like the tornadoes is enough if we had to have another impending disaster. I don't think I can handle it.
Something off with my Jason mask here, but can't tell what it is. Oh, pool more blood at the base of the tree. There's a suggestion for you.
I agree. I think I was trying to avoid getting on the blood, but when in doubt, add some more blood, right?
The crowd wants more blood.
If you insist, I shall. No, not that one. Oops.
That dude kind of looks like he's got sunglasses on here or something. I don't know.
He looks a little apocalyptic.
Doesn't he? He's got a space respirator on or something. Oh well, as long as he looks creepy, that's the main thing. And he needs more highlights over here. Well, Angie says she gets a lot of fires where she is in California. Yes.
Oh, I bet.
Yes. Out in British Columbia, they had record heat, which was like 125 or 30 degrees, and they were getting forest fires, and I think it's kind of settled down a little bit now.
Yeah, that would be terrifying.
Yes. And you see all these video footages on the news of people driving through the flames trying to get out, and it's like, yikes, that'd be scary.
But if you're trapped, I guess,
Yep.
you're going to do what you're going to do.
Exactly. Oh, Angie says mine definitely looks creepy. Thank you. I don't know, he just doesn't look like Jason to me, but I'll just go with creepy. Maybe he needs a bit more bluey, blacky or something around his neck.
What do we think? Is this enough blood?
I don't know. Can you ever have too much blood?
I'm sure you probably could. There's probably a term for that. Someone got too much blood.
Yeah, what do we think? He needs a little something something, but I can't tell what he needs. I need the dem fish to give me the critical thing here. He's funny because he's not really into art, but he can look at my painting and say, oh, especially if I'm drawing faces, oh, the eyes are too big, oh, the nose is too small. Like, he knows exactly what's wrong with my picture, and he'll tell me. But in a good way, but he'll say, yeah, that looks funny, Mom. Yeah, you gotta redo that. I'm like, okay.
You got to appreciate the
I can look at
honesty.
something and tell it looks off, but I can't always tell what's off. But he can look at it and say, yeah, the nose is too big, or the eyes are not the same size, or whatever. So he's got a good eye for it.
That's good.
Yeah. Oh, Fabi says her kids are driving her crazy. Must be bedtime. It probably is that witching hour. Some days I could probably go to bed about this time too.
I have probably fallen asleep about this time before.
My kids, when they were younger, their witching time was about 6:30. Oh my God, they would just lose their minds when they were babies, and then they'd be fine. But my cats are kind of like that too. There's a certain time of the night they just lose it, and they start running around, chasing each other, climbing up the walls, and then they're like, "Okay, I'm good."
Yep, that's how I know when my kids are about ready to go to bed, or at least when I'm ready for them to go to bed.
Oh, night, Fabi. How are you? Or have a good evening. Thanks for coming out. I really appreciate that. But you better put those babies to bed. Oh, Diana says she's painting too while she's listening. So what are you painting, Diana? Probably not a creepy.
Probably not blood and Jason masks.
You never know though. Probably not. So you'll have to let me know when you are brave enough to do a live, and then I can join you.
Oh, yes. I will definitely let you know when I can work up that bravery for myself.
Well, like I said, StreamYard's very forgiving because when I first did it on just YouTube, oh, it was just confusing and stressful. And this is kind of like, oh, you just click the link and you're in.
Yeah, I would definitely have to be working with something like this because that's all I did before was just directly on YouTube, and
yeah,
I was not confident in anything.
yeah.
And I think I'm pretty good with technology normally.
Yeah.
But
Well, I
yeah,
just
I
like the
wasn't.
fact that you could see what you're going to see when you're live, which is kind of
Yeah.
nice. Oh, Fabi says good night, ladies.
Good night. Thanks for joining.
Hopefully you don't have any bad dreams after watching all of our blood and gore.
It is only unlucky if you make it to be.
That's true. And like I said, my husband and my son were born on the 13th, so I think it's pretty lucky myself.
So how often do they have birthdays that are on Friday? I wonder, is
It
that
hasn't seemed too often, but at least a couple that I can remember.
because it wouldn't be every 7 because you've got leap year in there, but
Yeah.
okay, I think I'm about done.
Yeah, me too. That was good
If I
timing.
keep messing with it, it's going to get worse.
That's the thing, you got to know when to stop sometimes,
Yeah,
right?
that's right.
Should we do the big grand reveal?
Yeah, I'm going to peel this off and let's see. Well, I'm going to try to peel this off.
Best part is peeling the paint, the tape off. It's like that ASMR stuff, you know. It always looks so much better when you take the paint off, or the tape off.
I used an older paint or an older tape this time, and it is kind of wanting to stick some.
I always put it on my clothes and peel it off a few times, and that gets rid of some of the sticky.
Yeah, I should have done that.
Tend to. Oh, just jinxed myself because I just started peeling the paper. Oh. It is so satisfying. One of my subscribers, the Garage King, he said that's like the best part of your painting is when you peel the tape off.
The last one I did, my oldest son was like, "How did you get the lines so straight on the side?"
Talent.
Yeah, this is not. Oh, it's taking my paper.
Oh no. Sometimes if you just wet it down with your finger, it'll kind of smooth it back into place. That's what I'm doing. Oh, Tammy Lynette Chappelle says, great paintings. Yes, we'll try to get her all into view here. Friday the 13th, creepy.
Well, it looks like I got a couple little spots. Let me see if I can fix them.
Very nice. I'm just going to flip my camera around, and I can hold mine up here. Yeah, it doesn't quite look like Jason to me, but he still looks spooky, so I'll go with that.
Let's see, I need a little green up here.
So there is Mr. Spooky.
Okay, that's just gonna have to work. All right, let's see. I'm gonna jump back here.
Well, Stefan said he turned 19. I turned 19th. My birthday was on Good Friday and Friday the 13th. There you go.
All right, here we go. Here's what I got going on.
Very spooky.
Here we are. So a little bit darker.
Yeah, looks good.
Yeah.
I like the machete through the mask. It's a nice touch.
Yeah. It turned out well.
Yeah.
I like your mask. I think the darkness makes him extra creepier.
Yeah, there you go. Like I said, he doesn't quite look like Jason, but he looks like some maniacal killer that I still wouldn't want to meet in a dark alley. So.
I definitely would not want to meet him in a dark alley. In any alley. Bright alley, that's okay.
Yeah, bright alley, no.
I'm good.
13th floor. No, I'm good. Well, thank you very much, Tina. That was awesome.
Yes, thanks for having me. I had fun.
So do you have anything coming up on your channel that you want to plug out there, like a special or a collab or anything? Or
I don't have anything extra special or a collab. I have been working on putting some extra items together, some of what you guys have seen before, but I do have something kind of coming out tomorrow that I'm working on a few different versions of because I've been working extra hard. I'm going to have a table in a little show. This table that's kind of back here behind me.
nice. Oh, cool.
I've been playing around with setup today. So that's coming not tomorrow, but this next Saturday. So that's what I've been working hard for, but not necessarily a channel kind of thing. So,
Right.
But I will have a video tomorrow. So
Very good. So we will definitely have to do some more creepy stuff, maybe even leading up to Halloween, just to get people in the mood.
that's right. Halloween is coming and I love Halloween crafting.
Me too. And I'm going to have another Halloween movie themed collaboration coming up too.
Ooh, that'll be good.
Yeah.
That'll be good.
All right.
Okay.
So, are you pretty much wrapped up then with your picture?
I think I'm wrapped up. I think I'm going to hang it in my kid's room as a surprise for him and see how he likes it.
Very good. So make sure you guys check out Tevil's Treasures and give her some love, subscribe, thumbs up, comments, and make sure that you like and comment on the live stream too so that we know that you enjoyed it. All right, we'll see you later.
Thanks for
Have a
stopping
good
by.
night, everybody.